your pal Danny with a Words Are Matter planetary service announcement kind of combo. So I was tuning into a friend's live the other day. He mentioned his age, his sunspins, and then someone commented, "You look way younger than blank age." My friend who was leading the video was like, "I do? Oh, thank you so much. I'll take that. I look younger than blah, 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 blah." Here's the thing. It's that we have such a fucked up relationship to time in this culture. It is really one of the largest fictions, illusions, and traps in which we are currently enmeshed. And we've all heard the expression, time isn't linear, right? But we kind of don't really know what that means because we're still inching along in linear time. Time is actually omnidirectional, multidimensional, and simultaneous now. So what that means is that time is happening on multiple dimensions at once. So the past is here now and the present is here now. But because we have all been reared in the mythology of linear time, even though we might hear the sort of errant mystics say time isn't linear, everything in our current reality has us living linear time. And we can call this like 3D, right? Third dimensional time is linear time, right? Takes us from birth to death with some notable stops in between, but it's always going like this. And the past is back here and the future's out here and we're kind of here in the middle. But the reality of time is that it's all here now. So you can think of it like if this is the present moment and the past is here and the future is here. So they're all actually here now. The gist is just kind of collapsing the perceived distance between them to work within multidimensional time and to not be limited within the confines of linear time. Okay, so why would we want to do this? The reason we would want to do this is to not succumb to standard issue aging protocol, right? And this isn't to say that we're not impermanent. I'm not going to take us there. However, we are being invited, those of us who are here to seed new earth, and those of us who are here to expand human experience into multidimensional reality, we are here to escape the confines of linear time, and we are here to eradicate the mortality codes that have us thinking that 20 years old equals this, and 50 years old equals this, and all this programming around time. So I bring this up. So going back to my friend and I'm not going to pin any time on him because when we name an age, like when we claim we are this many years old, and we'll come back to old in a second, we're stapling ourselves to linear time. So like that right there, by claiming a time, we've decided, okay, I am going to align myself with the frequencies and the narratives and the paradigm that is linear time. Okay, there's nothing wrong with that. That's a choice we all have free will to make. But when we do that, we activate the mortality codes, right? So time in this reality is completely subjective. There's no objective old, there's no objective young, right? It's all a comparison based on where we are, right? Like think of the heliocentric solar system where the sun is the center. When it comes to time on this planet, we are the sun, and all time revolves around us. Are they older than we are? Are they younger than we are? And we are sort of the default neutral for this temporal conversation. So think about it. When we ask someone how old they are, again, old being a curse because it's not really a frequency that's lauded or respected in our culture, and we'll come back to that in a second. But when we ask someone their age, all we're really trying to figure out is, are they older than I am? Are they younger than I am? Is this person age appropriate for my daughter, for my friend, right? We're always thinking in terms of comparison for the older, younger that we're trying to clock. Like, oh, are they, more successful than I was at that age? Or is this what I'm going to look like at that age? It's all comparison, right? Which is all that linear time paradigm. So when someone tells my friend, "You look so much younger than X," what that person who's commenting is doing is elevating youth. And this is what we have. We have a hierarchy of time in our culture where youth is placed upon a pedestal, which is completely a social program, and then age, elderhood, wisdom, that's placed lower on the pedestal, right? We don't really, in the West, we don't honor our elders. We don't honor their wisdom. We have a very ageist culture. And at the same time, youth is elevated where it's a compliment to say we look younger than we are. No one actually looks younger than the age that they are. I want to be clear. The reason I'm refraining from naming my friend's age, as I said, it activates the mortality code. So I'm not going to impose that upon him without his consent. I'm not going to put him in a box and activate his mortality codes by letting you know who I'm talking about and then stapling a number of sun spins to him, right? And this isn't a hang up around the hierarchy of age. This is a way to escape activating the mortality codes, which are tied into specific ages. This is why people say, oh, you don't look your age, you look younger, because we have all been indoctrinated to believe that certain ages are supposed to unfold or devolve according to, this very specific track based on linear time. So in this culture, we've taken, instead of you look great, you look beautiful, you look so optimized, you look so vibrant, you have so much energy, right? Instead of those things which are more specific, you don't look your age. As though looking your age is something bad, as though whatever age we are, if it's not some like pinnacle of youth, which has been, indoctrinated upon us either by Hollywood, Madison Avenue, social engineers, or humans who are carrying these programs around with them. So we take it as this compliment, oh, I look younger. And when we do that, we're elevating youth, which is completely backwards, right? Because in our culture, like, elders have more time, they have more experience, they have more wisdom, they have more self-knowledge, right? But all of that is cast aside for like perky tits and perfect skin and all the things that we associate with youth. So all of this is to just expand our understanding of time. I liken it to like the idea of trying to shove ourselves into 3D linear time is like shoving an octopus into a cardigan sweater. Like, you could do it, right? 2 of its arms are going to fit, and all the rest are going to be completely confined and deformed, and it can't really move the way it's meant to move, right? With its entire 8-arm expanse. It's going to be very limited to these 2 arms. It's not actually natural for the octopus. That is what we are doing, living in 3rd-dimensional linear time, and buying into this temporal comparison. And anytime we language ourselves within the construct of linear time, we are activating the mortality codes that then instruct our body, start to devolve this way based on our programming. But when we choose to eschew linear time, going back to our octopus, the octopus takes off the confining cardigan that never fit properly in the first place and now has the full scope of movement with all 8 arms, right? Now we're free to engage time. We can move into the future. We can collapse the distance between future and present. We can move into the past and clean up traumas back there and have them have like real deal felt changes in our now. We can navigate time very differently. And this is what those of us who are being called to evolve the planet into 5D, this is what we're being invited to do now. Let's stop elevating youth and selling ourselves down the river by chasing youth, but by also buying into this idea that we don't look our age. We all look our age. We just have fucked up ideas of what age is supposed to look like because we've been indoctrinated and programmed with false ideas of linear time that have us believing in this devolution that's supposed to unfold in this very narrow, specific way, which is completely untrue. But when we untether ourselves from that, when we're the octopus who takes off the ill-fitting cardigan, then we're free to be in the present moment now, right? We're living an eternal life that continues to unfold on different dimensional planes, whether we're in this meat suit or not. The wisest way to optimize this particular meat suit is to not staple it to linear time, to not staple it to these temporal comparisons and these narrow, limited narratives that come along with them, and free ourselves up to be eternal beings. So what does that look like? That looks like, one, don't buy into this, no one believes I'm my age. Fuck that shit. You are your age, and your age is perfect, and you are perfect exactly as they are. Let's not elevate youth. We look great for our age. That doesn't mean younger. That means great. When we buy into that narrative, we're signing on to choosing to be ageist. We're signing on to disempowering time's onward ticking. We're signing on to the idea that age equals ugly, or, decrepit, or not fully embodied, right? That, again, these are all programs. So please don't buy into the, no one believes I'm my age, or I look so much younger than I really am. No, you look exactly the age you are, and just own it. And also own that we can look the ages we are and look amazing, and not buy into those programs. So number two is, and I got this from Dr. Christiane Northrup, is that the smartest thing you can do to optimize your health and well-being is to not staple yourself to your sunspins, to not identify your numbers, not out of any shame for the amount of sunspins we've accrued, but to avoid activating the mortality codes, right? Which direct our body, oh, we're this age, so start to configure in all these ways that we've all been programmed to associate with these numbers. But it's not just us, it's also the feedback loop of other people. So when I tell someone else that I'm such and such age, now I'm going to be faced with the projection of their programming and their mortality codes coming at me. So the easiest way for where we're at right now as a culture, the easiest way to avoid activating the mortality codes is to not staple yourself to any of these numbers, and to not orient yourself according to temporal comparison or to linear time, because everything within that construct is geared towards this birth to death trajectory that will activate the mortality codes and thus degrade our bodies sooner than we might choose to chill out, relax, wrinkle up, whatever. This is the first installation in, this larger body of work upon which I have been working for quite a while, which is the language of eternity. I'm trusting that it made sense. I am encouraging you and me and all of us to avail ourselves to being contemporaries living in the eternal now, and to avoid temporal comparison, and to avoid any urge to anchor ourselves in any place in that linear time paradigm, and to instead take off this ill-fitting octopus cardigan and avail ourselves to multidimensional, eternal nowness. Thanks for paying attention. Thanks for remembering that every word matters, that you are omniscopic amazingness as well as an eternal badass. Have a rockin' day. Mwah.